Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Automedics show, reaching you from the studios of NTA2, Victoria Island, Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Ben, and I have with me Kunle Shonaike, otherwise known as Dr. K. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And we're still discussing checklist today because a lot of people have started traveling already.
Oh, yes.
And they're using their vehicles, obviously. Yeah. And the roads are already filled up with a lot of vehicles applying the roads. But do you know what to actually look out for on your vehicle before you put it on the road? That is what we'll be discussing today, because you wouldn't afford any breakdown while you're having that journey. But before we give you those tips, we'll go on a short break and we'll be back shortly. Don't go away.
You know that you can actually drive your vehicle without engine oil for 50 kilometers. This is very, very achievable, all thanks to Polytron. Still a doubting Thomas? Let our technician prove this to you.
We're about to drain the engine oil of this car to see the power of Polytron, the product that has nanotechnology buried in it, because we believe that Polytron is already working in it. And after doing that, put the car together and we'll drive it around.
Now that you have seen the power of Polytron, buy a bottle today to increase the lifespan of your engine, reduce fuel consumption, save cost also on expensive repairs.
Strong communication skills, good diagnostic skills, problem-solving skills, solid work ethics, strong technical aptitude, and up-to-date technology. Watch Automedics on your reach out station as we provide clear-cut solutions to your automobile problems. Automedics showing every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. with a repeat broadcast at 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays. Automedics, the best hands on your automobile.
And today we'll be discussing some of the checklists you need to check on your vehicle before you put it on the road. Obviously, you must have carried out some repairs before you go on your journey. And while we're discussing this issue too, you also have the opportunity to call into the program if you have any challenge with your vehicle, and we'll try as much as we can to give you solutions to some of the questions you will ask us. And the number to call is 0701 627 2025. 0701 627 2025. All right, Dr. K, some of the issues we've been discussing since our last episode still centers about people traveling for the festivities and all that. And before people travel, what do you think should be some of the things they should do before they put the vehicle on the road?
Well, a lot of things they have to do before they put the vehicle on the road. The first thing they want to make sure is their service up to date.
Okay.
If the service is not up to date, you want to service the vehicle.
Yeah.
Even when you service it, you just don't want to embark on the journey after servicing the vehicle. You need to drive it around town to make sure everything is okay. And while you are checking these things, there's a couple of things you need to be attentive to. You need to be attentive to noise, sounds.
Yeah.
And you know, people tend to want to turn their music on when they're driving.
Yeah.
And this is not the best time to turn that music on. You want to make sure everything is fine. Most especially when you start the vehicle in the morning, first time in the morning.
Yeah.
Turn the radio off. If possible, lower the AC fan, because the AC fan too constitutes a noise if it's too high. Can drown the noise. And you want to listen for some peculiar noise or sounds that were not there before, or something you heard before that's increasing. All these things are telltale signs of something about to happen. So these are things you need to be attentive to. You need to pay attention to some of these details before you embark on that journey. Then once you are able to identify some of these things, you go to your mechanic, let it be rectified. Even after it's been rectified, you still want to confirm within the city before you embark on that journey.
You know, sometimes people want to travel. You just mentioned one area now. Go to the mechanic shop, service, change the oil filter, and then they just embark on that journey, which rightly said now it's wrong.
It's very wrong.
Okay, because there might be one or two leaks.
You see, just because you just change your oil, you think the service, everything is okay.
Yeah.
you still have to be sure that because you've changed your oil, the filter you bought could fail, whether it's substandard or manufacturer defect. But you want to be sure that filter will not fail. So you just don't want to embark on that journey. The oil you bought that was replaced with the old oil, the oil could be substandard. You want to be sure all this, because once you embark on the journey and you are in the middle of nowhere, if the car breaks down, it's going to cost you more than when you're within the city. You have to pay for or transport the mechanic there. If the car cannot be fixed there, it has to be towed. So these are extra expenses.
Plus
security risk also. So these are things that you need to be aware of.
And talking about some of those lists, the brakes also fall in this category.
Brakes falls in the... You see, when you're talking of things to check, your brakes, your steerings, and when we're talking of steering, say, oh, it's not just turning the steering. You're talking of steering parts. Is your tie rod ends okay? Lower control arm, ball joints, you know, drag link, steering rack.
You just mentioned the ball joint now and the tie rod. You know, even driving in the city, sometimes you see some of those parts.
A vehicle. We saw one yesterday. And, you know, I don't want to mention names of a particular vehicle, but there's some vehicles that are very prone to this failure. And you can blame it on the manufacturer, but it's not really the manufacturer's fault, because these parts are not made to last forever. These are parts that wear out. And if you look at the condition of our roads, the terrain we lived in, yes, thanks to the Lagos State government, they're fixing some of the roads, but even at that, you go to some neighborhoods where anytime you're going on a rough road, this tear and wear is going to happen on your suspension, steering, and brake parts, because these are the parts that are affected the most because of the road situation. So you want to be sure these things are okay before you embark on that journey. Assuming your ball joint is worn out and your mechanic has warned you that this ball joint is loose, you embark on a journey. You're driving at top speed at about 70, 80 miles an hour, and you run into a bump. You know, when you get into a bump, there's going to be movement of the suspension. When it goes down, coming up, sometimes the socket of the ball joint can pop out. When this happens, you lose control. This will also cause an accident. So you are endangering your life, the life of other people on the road, or your family with you in the car. So these are things that you need to pay attention to, apart from other things that you even need to have with you in the car.
Okay, now talking about some of the things you have in your car, you know, because if you're traveling, assuming that everything is in place, sometimes you cannot actually determine when maybe a belt will snap.
Even if you're driving a new car, let's assume you're driving a brand new car. A brand new car could have a defect from the factory. So when you're embarking on a journey, and most especially in this environment that the rescue service is very poor, you want to make sure you have a spare belt, some spare fuse, spare tire, jacks. Make sure all your lights are okay. Carry some extra fuse. These are things that you need. If possible, carry a gallon of coolant with you and a gallon of oil. People will say, but I don't have any leaks. My radiator cooling system is not leaking. Yes, everything is fine and dandy when you start that journey. But because of the peculiarity of our roads, you could run over an object. And then when you run over an object, the object could project into your any parts of the engine, could damage your oil pan, oil filter, even or radiator or coolant hose, and you have a leak before you know it. Of course, you have the warning sign on the dashboard, which you need to be attentive to, but assuming you don't have any of those parts or those things we mentioned with you in the car, and this happened, you'll be stuck on the road. But if you have it, if it happens, you have something that will get you to your next nearest safe point or where you can get help.
Now, talking about safe point and also some of the things you carry on your vehicle, fuel.
Yes.
This is a very dicey one because most time in this season, you see people travel and then they carry up to about 50 liters of petrol.
It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
It's not something advisable.
Yeah.
I know people say, oh, because of the most of the petrol station along the roads, maybe their pump are not accurate or they're selling adulterated. What you have to do is make sure your tank is filled up. If you know how your vehicle burns fuel, you can calculate how many miles you will go on that full tank. So you get to a reputable petrol station, you fill up again. Don't wait until you run out, because the danger of having fuel in your car, fuel is very combustible
and volatile.
And very volatile. When you have it, it's going to build up pressure.
Yeah.
You have your phone with you in the car. The vehicle you are driving has electrical parts
And it
in
also
it.
generate heat.
It's going to generate heat.
Yeah.
And the vapor from this fuel, anything can ignite it.
How about the danger of people living inhaling the fumes of the
Inhaling
fuel?
it, it's danger for them. If you have somebody with asthma in the vehicle, you could trigger the attack of the asthma person by having the fuel in the vehicle with you. So these are things you don't really want to keep with you in the vehicle.
Okay, now let's go to one of the issues we discussed last week, and that has to do with the tire and tire pressure. And the reason why I'm bringing it is because most of the commuter buses, after loading, at this particular time, this is when they go to the vulcanizers again.
To go and fill up the air.
Yeah, because obviously the vehicle...
The weight of the passengers and the load they're carrying is going to press down on the tire.
Yeah.
But the danger of this is when the load of the passengers and the other the baggages they have in the vehicle, of course, it's going to compress on the tire, and you think the tire is low. No. You know, the weather is very hot right now. Some of the roads have been fixed. And when these roads are smooth, you tend to want to speed more.
Exactly.
The weather is hot. The road is going to get hot because of the asphalt. It's going to get hot. By you increasing your speed also, you're generating more energy in the air pressure already in the tire. If you go and put too much air, what will happen is at a certain speed you could be driving, an explosion can happen because you've stretched the tire to the limit, because the more speed you generate, the more heat you are going to generate in the tire and the more pressure. And so it's more or less, as you are driving, coupled with the weather of the temperature of the day, the heat on the road, and the speed of you are generating more air, energy inside that tire, and the tire is expanding. And this is a tire that we're not even sure the expiration date, the deterioration of the composition of the material used. We're not even sure of all this.
They wear it too?
Where they wear, most of them will have been worn. You don't even know if it was retread. And you are stretching this tire by you overspeeding or putting too much air in it. So what I will advise for an average commercial driver, even if you're a passenger, if you're going to enter the vehicle, there's nothing wrong that you cannot have a gauge with you. Just press it. Open the door. Or even if it's not there on the door, you can Google it. All you have to do is press a button on your phone and, type the year of the vehicle, the model of the vehicle, what's the tire pressure. Google will give it to you. Double check, tell the driver this is too much. Because you don't want the tire to blow out on top speed.
All right. Now, drifting now to safety area. And one of my questions is people who carry children inside vehicle.
Well, if you carry children inside vehicle, if possible, you want them, if they are below a certain age, a certain height, you want them to be in the back seat or the middle seat, it depending on the type of vehicle you are driving. But you don't want them on the front seat because of their height and the age, because the way the seat belt is going to and the effect of the airbag, if at all it did deployed. So you want the children to be in the back, belted up. If the children require the car seat, you need that car seat to be in the car, belted and the child belted to the car seat.
That is
For children's safety.
Yeah.
Now, one other safety things I would like to reiterate that people tend to overlook is, you know, this season, a lot of people are on the road doing Christmas shopping, all those things.
Yeah.
There's going to be traffic on the road. Yes, we do have the law enforcement out on the road, but you don't want to leave things exposed in your vehicle.
Exactly.
Like women.
Bags.
Women will carry their handbag,
Yeah.
leave it on somewhere in
Or
the
carry
front
it
seat
on their lap.
or put it on their lap. Or
Yeah.
you are exposing yourself. There's nothing stopping you. The only thing you really need at that time is your concentration on the driving.
Yeah.
Put your bag in the trunk, in the boot of the vehicle,
Yeah.
and lock it up. If you lock it up, whoever passes by looking for something inside the car, if he doesn't see, will walk
Will not be
on.
attracted. Yeah.
Yeah, but once you leave something, whether there's something in it or not,
Yeah, they'll be attracted.
it will attract them, and you're leaving yourself open for attack. These are things that you don't want to do. Leave anything exposed, even your phone, if possible.
Yeah.
If you have a cheap phone, what you need to carry at that time is your cheap phone.
Yeah.
When they see it, they walk on.
Well, that is a very good safety tip because of while you're also shopping, there are some unscrupulous elements that are also trying to shop on you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, now overloading.
Wow.
People will be carrying bags of rice, so many because they are going to the country home and all that.
Overloading is, you see, when you overload a vehicle, your vehicle, every vehicle, I don't care if it's commercial, private, or heavy duty or light vehicles, every vehicle has a load rating.
Yeah.
That this is the capacity of the load
That it can carry.
it can carry. If you overload it, your engine will labor. If your engine's labor, you're going to burn more fuel.
Okay.
And it could also affect your transmission because the transmission is what propels the vehicle to move.
Yeah.
And if you overload this vehicle, it will have effect on the powertrain system. And if it's an engine that's already having some minor problems or that's weak already, and you overload it, you're looking for trouble. Because you get to a certain point, going up the hill will become a problem.
And it won't go.
And the vehicle will not go because you've already overloaded it. It's like somebody trying to work that you put a lot of weight on top of their head and you're asking that person to climb a hill. How is he going to do it? So these are things you need to be overloading your vehicle. The first thing it's going to do is you're going to burn excessive fuel because the vehicle will labor. The engine is struggling to move.
Yeah.
And
the effect on the tires too?
Oh, there is definitely going to affect on the have an effect on the tire because apart from you putting too much air, the tire, if you put too much air, you're going to have wear and tear in the middle of the tire.
Yeah.
If it's too low, the outside wall of the tire are going to wear out quickly. And one danger of putting too much air in the tire, having too much air in your tire is going to have an effect on your suspension also. And people don't realize that.
All right, before we close the show, we'll go on a short break. And when we come back, we'll be wrapping up the show.
You can actually drive your vehicle without engine oil for 50 kilometers. This is very, very achievable, all thanks to Polytron. Still a doubting Thomas? Let our technician prove this to you.
We're about to drain the engine oil of this car to see the power of Polytron, the product that has nanotechnology buried in it, because we believe that Polytron is already working in it. And after doing that, put the car together and we'll drive it around.
Now that you have seen the power of Polytron, buy a bottle today to increase the lifespan of your engine, reduce fuel consumption, save cost also on expensive repairs.
Strong communication skills, good diagnostic skills, problem-solving skills, solid work ethics, strong technical aptitude, and up-to-date technology. Watch Automedics on your reach out station as we provide clear-cut solutions to your automobile problems. Automedics, showing every Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. with a repeat broadcast at 11:30 a.m. on Saturdays. Automedics, the best hands on your automobile.
Show, and we'll be recapping on some of the things we discussed from the beginning of this show, having to do about your vehicle. You want to travel with your vehicle, the things you need to check on your vehicle before you embark on that journey. And right from before you leave home, some of the things you need to look at for, the oil level, and where you park. Obviously, check around.
I mean, these are obvious things.
Yeah.
Not just before you, apart from looking for spots, the things that could have dripped on the floor, which is oil, coolant. And when we're talking of oil, we're not talking of just engine oil. We're talking of your transmission, we're talking of your brake fluid. Any of this could have leaked. Once you notice it, you want to attend to it. So as you're pulling out of your home or where you parked, whether you're moving forward or backward, you want to double check where the vehicle was parked. Was there any spot on the floor for any oil or coolant? You want to be sure of that. Even before you start moving, before you get into the car, you want to do a walk around, like a circle check. And why are you doing this walk around? You want to make sure there is no obstruction, nothing. Anybody could have rolled something, put something near the vehicle, like a wedge, or a child could be playing and very close to the car. So these are things you want to be sure of. So you do a walk around, make sure there is everything around the vehicle is safe. Then as you start the vehicle, while you're starting, don't turn the AC on, turn the radio off. You want to listen for sounds. Is there any noise? Is there any sounds? You want to make sure there is none. If there is any, you want to attend to it. You are backing up or moving forward, you want to check the spot where the vehicle was parked. Is there any leak? If there is no leak, then you can continue your journey.
All right. Well, I think that is where we'll wrap it up for this time. I think the next time will be on Christmas Day.
Oh, Christmas Day. I guess that will be the following day after Christmas.
Well, we wish you all happy Christmas and prosperous New Year ahead until we see you again in 2020. Is it 2020 or?
We don't know. We'll find out. We're probably going to be here after Christmas.
All right.
That will be the Wednesday before New Year.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
So happy Christmas.
Setting up